we need to talk, girl. Hopefully, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but I can explain. So if you don't know who I am, once again, I'm Jackie Ina. I started making beauty tutorials in 2009. And here we are 13 years later, still alive and kicking it somehow, some way. For the first time in these 13 years I've been a creator, I took a very visible hiatus from uploading on YouTube. And not only from uploading, but just creating content on YouTube in general. We're going to explain why I took a hiatus, why I left YouTube for the amount of time that I did, and am I back? So in typical Jackie Ina fashion, this will be a get ready with me because I ain't got nowhere to go, but I do got people to see. This isn't really gonna be like a tutorial. So if you want to know the products that I'm using, I will try to list them down in the description box below, but this is gonna be more like a girl chat, and I hope you're ready because I have a lot to say. Now, I will give a quick disclaimer. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of first world problems, maybe surface level issues that I think the general population, if you're not a creator, you probably cannot relate to. And honestly, it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that I hate my job or I hate what I do. It just will give you a bigger piece of the puzzle as to why I wasn't creating content for the length of time that I was. And I hope that you guys are open to it because let's be honest, influencers for the most part, like we have a really great job. And sometimes when that job gets not so great, I sometimes feel like there isn't a lot of grace and space to like talk about the things that we experience. And so I hope that I can be vulnerable and that you guys will be open enough to accept it without minimizing it, because I feel like a lot of what I experience is very real. And I think as entrepreneurs and creators, we gotta talk about it. Did I quit YouTube? Or I guess I should say, why did I quit YouTube? Because that seems to be the #1 question I've been getting. I didn't quit YouTube at all. I just stopped uploading, but there was never a goodbye. Now, there was a number of different things that contributed to this lack of uploads. I would say the first and most obvious thing was the global pandemic. Very much difficult to ignore. Makeup was probably at the bottom of a lot of our priority lists. As a content creator, it's kind of difficult figuring out how to make content that doesn't ignore the obvious. A world where like, it just didn't make sense to show makeup looks when we're wearing masks and we're covering our faces, and a lot of us were not leaving our homes. So that kind of was like, okay, I'm kind of struggling to figure out where do we go from here? That was not even the start. So another thing that I have to be very honest about, and I love reminding people how long I've been on YouTube because I feel like that means something. It's like, you know how when you meet a doctor and they never shut up about being a doctor, it's like, girl, we get it. That's how I feel about you being a YouTuber for 13 years because I feel like that means something. So anytime I get the chance to remind people of that, I do, because I don't think people understand like how long I've been doing this before I even made money from it, and like how much you actually have to commit and dedicate to being that committed to something, even when you're gaining mostly nothing, especially nothing tangible. In the 13 years that I've been a creator, I've always felt like I've had to work a little bit harder than my peers. Actually, a lot harder. Those of you guys that have been following me long enough can probably see the very stark difference between the quality of content I put out as a Black creator and even Black creators in general. Like, there is definitely a difference in growth and opportunity, but rarely is there ever like a difference in quality, right? So like a Black creator could be doing the absolute most, putting out the absolute best content, teaching you things, and you definitely won't get nearly as many opportunities as some of your peers. Imagine experiencing that for like half a decade or longer, right? That was such a big part of my journey and my growth on YouTube. I've definitely noticed that even though Black creators often have to work harder when it comes to like having a relationship with platforms and just having a rapport with platforms, we kind of rarely get very much in return, I've noticed. So for example, I just feel like as a creator, you shouldn't have to work tooth and nail just to basically sit at the same table of people who are doing like a third of the work. And I know it sounds really, really bad saying this, but I'm just being honest with you. Like, I've always had to like really make sure that my content is just so well thought out of and so well strategized. I've seen a lot of peers and people online who don't look like me, who have not had to put nearly as much charm and creativity and strategy into their content. They just post as they go. And honestly, there's good and there's bads with that, right? There's goods and there's bads, because when you work that hard in your content, a lot of times your strong suit is you're able to sit back and be like, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't. Like, it kind of gives you an advantage because you've like studied the algorithm, you figured out what people like, what they don't like. But what I've also noticed is that when it comes to like working with platforms, they don't oftentimes support you in the same way that you're giving energy and putting into their platforms. Like, I just started to kind of feel like, look, the 13, 12, 10 years that I put into being a full-time YouTuber, like, it just shouldn't be this hard at this point anymore. And that's genuinely what it started to feel like. But when you see that there are certain people receiving, you know, like favors and special treatment, it is discouraging. I love YouTube. It's always gonna have a special place in my heart. Like I said, this is not an us versus them video. But I'm just telling y'all how it feels working with certain brands. The energy is just not reciprocated. Like, that's a real valid feeling. So I don't want nobody in the comments to be like, well, there's millions. I don't want to hear it. The feelings that I'm experiencing are very valid. And I can confidently say we experience this from all levels. Like, it is a real thing. My lack of uploads wasn't just like something that I woke up and was like, I'm through with life. It was like one seed gets planted, and it took a lot of time. This was like years, okay? And mind you, also, I've never taken a visible YouTube break ever. That's another whole different conversation. Like, I've never not uploaded more than like, I don't know, maybe a month, 2 months. Like, I've never actually taken a visible break from YouTube. My eyebrows may or may not be even, but I need y'all to really objectively like not look at that from a judgmental place, okay? Just bear with me because it's gonna get real deep. The notification bell on people's channels like actually used to mean something. Like, you would actually get like emailed and or notified whenever someone would upload, and then they just completely did away with it. And we were never told why. We were not even told like when that actually happened. Like, one day people started commenting on my new videos and being like, oh, I was never notified. I was never like, I never got alerted that you uploaded. So I was like, okay, that was weird. And I definitely noticed that it started to show how many people were actively seeing my content. And I know it was definitely not just me, because quite a bit of creators started coming out and saying that they experienced the same thing, and it was really, really hurting their channels and their videos and their content's visibility. I definitely experienced that. I still don't really know how people have been able to alleviate that or work around that. And I guess maybe I'm just gonna have to find out. But that was definitely a big thing. And I knew it wasn't my content because the last video that I did was Black YouTubers aren't relatable anymore. A lot of people saw that, so it was like, what's tea? Like, you know, what's tea, sis? I don't mind a little clickbait, but it's gotta be within reason. I wanna be really candid and vocal about something that I really struggle with, not only as a creator, but as a Black woman, as an African woman, and I know a lot of you guys can relate to this, but sometimes I feel like, as a creator, people put me on a pedestal so high that it's really, really difficult to keep up with. I made it like a very big public goal earlier in my YouTube career that I wanted to hit 1 million subscribers. At the time, before I earned 1 million subscribers, which is something I cannot express to you, how hard I worked to hit that milestone. It was not a thing because back then, nobody darker than tan had ever in the beauty space ever hit that milestone. And so it became a personal goal of mine, not only just for me, I just needed to see it done, damn it. Like, even if it wasn't me, I just needed to see that, like, okay, we know colorism exists, but I need to know it's possible for somebody, even if it's someone else. I don't care. If I'm the first, that'd be freaking amazing. Ever since then, I haven't really had any other like bigger goals with my YouTube channel, at least not at that time, right? Recently, yeah, I've like created some new milestones and some new goals for myself, but I finally felt like I could check off a big, huge box on my wish list. Like, it was really important to me. I was hitting 1 million like another million like every other year, and then it kind of just like coasted, which I was fine with because honestly, right now I'm at like just over 3.5, and that's depending on where you live, the population of a small country. Like 3.5 million may not be as much as some other YouTubers, but that's nothing to bat an eyelash at. Like, that's an incredible platform, and I've been able to afford a really incredible life, you know, not only for me, my family, the people around me. I employ people, I built a team. I've done some really incredible things considering, you know, how much I put into my platform and into my career. And I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, sometimes I just like to enjoy that. I would get these comments, and again, I know that people don't mean anything by it. I know they mean well. I know they mean well. I know they're well intended. I 100%. If you've ever left a comment like this, you don't have to apologize. Don't feel bad. I'm just explaining like how it comes off being on the receiving end of it. But it started to feel like I would upload content and I would just be like bombarded with comments that would say things like, why don't you have 10 million followers yet? Why don't you have this? Why aren't you there? Why aren't you? And it's just like, do we gotta do that every video? Like, do we gotta do this every video? I'm good with where I am. Like, I'm real good. But it very much reminds me of like when I was younger and I would go to these African parties, and if you know, you know. You got somebody who's a lawyer, somebody who's a doctor, somebody who's an engineer, somebody who invented a cure for COVID, right? And then here you are, the YouTuber, and it's like, why aren't you doing this? At every single stage of my life, I've always felt like nothing I've done was ever good enough. So whenever I hit a milestone, and the only thing that people can think is to tell me what I'm doing next, it really bothers me. Why not just say congrats for where you are now? You know what I mean? And also I think another thing that I want to express is like these comments, while they're a lot of times well-intentioned, when you're hearing the same thing over and over and over again, it can sometimes affect you in ways that like, maybe the first couple times, it's not that big of a deal. But after hearing it for a long time, it definitely becomes discouraging. You know, to me, it's like the equivalent of like showing up to someone's job and being like, why aren't you promoted? Why aren't you the manager? Like, I would just never think to ask someone that, because like, you're not, but that's okay. Like, you're here now, and like, I'm not gonna ask you. I don't know. You probably don't know why you're not the manager. Just like, I don't know why the hell I ain't got 10 million subscribers. Maybe there's something I need to improve on. And it's okay to admit that. Like, yeah, my content and my channel can evolve, and there's always gonna be room for improvement, and that's okay. Maybe at the time I didn't really want more subscribers or bigger or better. Do you know what I mean? And then also, what's better? Maybe 3 million is better to me. I don't think that's a bad thing. I know that people mean well, but a lot of times some of our deepest insecurities about certain things start off from like well-intended, seemingly meaningless, innocent, harmless comments. You know what I mean? But after hearing it for so long, it's like, I really can only take but so much. And then it starts to like, I think really set in like, damn, like, am I supposed to be bothered by the fact that I don't have 10 million subscribers? One of the many takeaways from this video is that a lot of times people just be happy with where they are. And it's okay to just celebrate now and just be happy for people where they are exactly with whatever they're doing. I've been doing like sheer washes of color. And by the way, this is Pat McGrath's Bridgerton eyeshadow collection. It's fire. Beauty on YouTube is very different. Beauty on YouTube is still kicking, but a lot of us have kind of like migrated to other platforms. TikTok is a big one, especially for tutorials and reviews. And by the way, I'm gonna get into TikTok a little bit later. I've been having so much fun. I have found one TikTok account, but I have two. And I've noticed that like some of the types of videos that do really well and excel on TikTok over the past couple years have just been kind of like fading into obscurity on YouTube. So I also started running out of ways to, I think, try to make uploading the same type of content as exciting over time. Like for example, people on YouTube already know how to do their makeup. So updated skincare routines or updated foundation routines have become real redundant, and then you do all that work and ain't nobody gonna see your video. So what is even the point? Most of the videos that I've enjoyed doing over time and over the past couple years have been reviews, have been tutorials, have been teaching style videos, how-tos. I love teaching people how to do stuff. It just really works, and it's something that I've naturally just become quite good at explaining things. But like I said, that content don't really perform like that. With the amount of work that goes into creating YouTube videos, I'm not about to sit here and create content that people are not gonna see or care about, period. Like, I don't care, because I know people are gonna jump in the comments and be like, well, is everything about views? Kind of. Like when you have camera equipment that's expensive, when you have lights that are expensive, like you always want a return on your investment. That's a very normal thing. So like I said, it started feeling like I would create content that people, one, wouldn't see, two, wouldn't care about because it was redundant, and three, wasn't fun anymore because it's like, I've already done this. With that said, I was like, okay, I want to do something different with my channel. Still beauty. I'm a makeup girl, and I always want to like stick to my roots. I love, love, love beauty, but I definitely wanted to like switch things up and have different conversations about beauty and just do different types of content. But I've also seen the way rebranding channels has backfired time and time and time and time and time again for other creators. I didn't really know how to do that in a way that wouldn't be so like, whoa, this isn't your normal sit down. What is this? Go back to what you was doing. A lot of what y'all would see on my channel previously was shots, produced, filmed, lit, creative directed, all by me. And I don't think people realize how daunting and how much work it requires to operate at that level, like completely by yourself, on top of like doing other things and then having a life, a relationship. God forbid you have a family, a personal life. Like, it got to the point where it was like, I want to hire help, but I don't want people to start looking at my content and being like, oh, you're selling out. Oh, you're too corporate and commercial now. Oh, you're looking too, it's not the same anymore. It's not like homegrown Jackie. But the truth is, y'all, and I'm just being really honest, because like I said, I've already set the tone in the beginning. We're gonna be transparent, we're gonna be vulnerable, we're gonna be honest. I cannot operate at the level I was previously on my own anymore, period. Like, it's just not possible. And that was why I just completely stopped creating content, because it just was not possible. Like, I could not be the one filming the content myself anymore, producing the content myself anymore. Luckily, I had an editor. That was like the one thing that I was very, very, very grateful for, and I never really had to worry about. I didn't start working with an editor until like year 8, year 9. I was doing all that by myself. And I think if you're a content creator, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not easy. Do y'all remember the one time where I was having that issue with my microphone? I'm still using the same microphone, by the way. There'd be people like, you're a professional, your mic shouldn't be making noise, and you should have perfect sound and perfect lighting. Give me a break, I'm just doing this by myself. I'm trying. It's hard to be like a tech person and a producer and sound check while I'm blending concealer. I want to like have this whole team, girl, and then have it backfire. Cause it's like, well, if you're gonna complain about the technology and the quality, don't complain about the help when I get it. Getting help is also scary, because when you've been doing something on your own for so long, it's really hard to like put that same trust in someone else. So after getting over the initial hump of like, okay, am I actually willing to do this? Even though I do need the help. Then I gotta get through the mental hump of asking myself, is my audience actually gonna be receptive to this and will enjoy this? And will I still be able to offer quality content that enhances people's lives and that they enjoy? I started to kind of feel like, okay, the real burnout is coming from like the lack of ideas. After the COVID hiatus and the pandemic and like really figuring out what my purpose is. By the way, y'all, I'm about to put on my foundation. I just gotta say, this Makeup Forever foundation is bomb. Just had to say that. Let's say help looks like a producer, somebody who helps me literally film and helps come up with content ideas and strategies and all that good stuff for my channel, right? Are they gonna be able to deliver and help me provide the same authenticity and fun and pureness of the content that I create? Like, I don't know, because I've never really worked with a producer on my channel. Even though for years and years and years, I could have hired help a long time ago, I didn't want to detach from like what I thought made my channel so special. And maybe I was just overthinking it. Maybe it's so much more than what I can provide on my own. Like, maybe there is things that's missing from my channel, and maybe I could provide and do more than what I was just doing on my own. And maybe I really was just overthinking it, because I was just like, well, if someone else is helping me, it's not gonna be the same vibe. It's not gonna be the same. Maybe that's a good thing. I only got one brain, and that brain is barely functioning, girl. Like, I can't come up with all the ideas all the time. Do y'all know the running joke about these rare beauty liquid blushes, about how they literally never run out? It is so true. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be passing these down to my grandkids, because they literally never run out. I love this color, by the way. It's Grace. But anyway, girl, like, okay, you probably sitting here thinking like, how do we know this ain't gonna happen again? And you ain't gonna leave us for dead again. I learned a lot, because like I said, this is my first time ever experiencing anything like this. And I think what I needed to figure out was like, what are the things, if anything, I could change to make YouTube and creating content in general more enjoyable? I've had a lot of time to think and figure out what those things are. And the reason why I was ready to come back was because once I figured out what those pain points were for me personally, I was like, all right, if I could check those boxes, yeah, I'd absolutely come back. I want to just be able to sit down and film and like not even think. I'm really good at connecting people to other people and like community building. And I think that you guys can probably agree. Like, there's been times where I've had meetups, and sometimes people will come to my meetups by themselves, and by the time they've left, they've made like 3 friends. And even just like in my personal life, anytime I introduce friends to like other friends, a lot of times they always end up keeping contact and being like continuing on the friendship. That's not something that I see happening with a lot of other people. And so as it relates to my content, I kind of feel like, why am I not utilizing that to my advantage on the receiving end? Like, why am I not bringing those people together to create better content, better conversations, overall better platform? Because I actually really could. I took some time, I did some some Googles, you know, some researching, I've started to really collectively, slowly flush out and build more people around me who can literally help me do that. And I also will say there were a lot of very, very sweet comments that I've received while I was taking time off. I'm not gonna say it was a lot, but there was also some not so supportive, nice comments while I was taking some time off. And the one thing that I will say, and the one thing I'm not gonna do, I ain't gonna apologize for taking a break. When y'all take a vacation from work, do you come back and apologize? What you sorry for? You was just on a yacht a week ago. What are you sorry for? You are not sorry. Please stop lying. Especially as women, why do we have to be sorry for taking a break or taking time to ourselves or taking time off to just recollect, especially when I've never done it before? Let this be a lesson not just to me, but to anybody watching this video, girl. And not just for girls, okay? I just say girls, it's a habit. You do not need to apologize for putting yourself first, period. Sometimes you just need time to just kind of start all over, reset, reconvene. It's okay. It doesn't make you a terrible person. I'm not even gonna just say creators. I think we've normalized like working and operating on autopilot, like uploading for the sake of it, just working for the sake of it, just doing things for the sake of it, just doing things out of habit and not really like intentional. And I did not want to come to YouTube and SHIT post. Like I don't want to just post stuff for the sake of it. I remember seeing a tweet that said something like, you should at least be vlogging or something. And I'm like, I don't even vlog on a normal day. Like, why would I start now? You know what I mean? To my credit, I was still heavily posting content everywhere else. I'm pretty much a regular TikToker now. I wasn't before. What I did on TikTok took me 7 years to do on YouTube. And I did that in like 1 year. TikTok is like well on its way to being like my big platform. I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of a results driven person. So if I see something's working, I'm gonna keep doing it. And if I'm getting bored of another avenue, I'm gonna stop doing it. And on that note, I wanna talk a little bit about like what's changed. So I started a completely separate platform on Instagram. And this is also the same content that I do on TikTok, but on my TikTok, it's not really that much about makeup. It's mainly about like cleaning, organizing, lifestyle. I know we hate the L word, but you know, Black women in luxury has been sort of a whole movement, even though I don't really think it's a movement. My life is very, very different now to how it was when I first started my channel. And to me, it's kind of like, well, why not embrace that? And why not show people the ins and outs of the things that I enjoy doing outside of beauty and luxury unboxings and designer stuff and high-end. And I really wanted to create content about that kind of stuff, but like I knew in my heart, like if I'm gonna completely switch it up and not do beauty, it needs to like not be on Jackie Ina. So in the past year, I've still been creating content heavily. Sometimes I post like 4 times a day, but I've just been doing it on its own separate platform. It's been really fun. The funny thing is about some platforms, TikTok especially, TikTok is like notorious for this. These people do not even know who I am, and I kind of live for it because they'll literally comment and be like, oh my God, do you have a YouTube channel? And I think it's so cute because it's like, oh baby, if you only knew. That is a little bit of like what I've been up to for the past year. Also talked about this previously on my channel, but as you guys know, I started a candle brand and it's called Forever Mood. It's kind of incredible. And I have the candles burning behind me. Ooh, that's our summer collection. And that's a lot. Forever Mood and being a brand founder has taken up a lot of my time. Like, every 48 hours, someone is telling me to start a new brand. It's not as easy as I think people think it is. And although, don't get me wrong, it's been incredible and life-changing on so many levels, it's occupied a lot of my time. And with YouTube, it's definitely longer form content. So it's just been really difficult getting the time to like actually sit down by myself to dedicate and commit to not only uploading on YouTube, but like uploading regularly the same way that I was. I really, really want to just move on to the next phase of like what my channel does and offers to people and the type of content that I create and the type of conversations that I have on my platforms. This channel will always be about beauty. It's not changing anytime soon. It's not going anywhere. As much as I love, you know, being self-made, everybody wants to be self-made. Everybody wants to be pull yourself by your bootstraps, blah, 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 whatever. Literally hate when people say that. But the thing is, it's like, I consider myself like self-made with an asterisk because I cannot do this stuff alone, like at all. And I don't think entrepreneurs like admitting this because it's sort of like a little blow to their ego. Nobody gets to the level that I'm at or even beyond by themselves 100%, period. Like you had some help to some extent. Yes, being self-made is a thing. Would I consider myself that Sure, but it's not literally just me at this point. We, and I'm saying we because this includes me, we don't do this stuff by ourselves. We have help, we have teams, we have managers and agents and assistants, plural. For old time's sake, we gotta do the setting spray. We gotta do, you know I love a good setting spray montage. I am matte so it's pretty much time to close out. But on the note of not being self-made and having help and having an amazing team, I want to shout out my new producer, Iris, who's in the back. Do you want to say hi, Iris?
Hey, y'all.
Is you gonna come on camera?
Oh, girl.
So y'all, like, I want to be able to also utilize some of you guys' feedback about content that you guys want to see. And now that I have help, it won't just be me controlling and looking at the comments and like actually taking in the feedback and stuff. Iris will be helping me. So if you have any suggestions or things that you want to see, I kind of want this to be like where entertainment and personality meets beauty. Definitely high on my priority of doing more collabs. That's something I really struggle with because previously I was operating as a one-man team, and being able to do the outreach and just being able to like make the connections and then following up is not easy. You guys tend to be really receptive in the past when I have done collabs. You know, we worked with Naomi, we worked with Violet Chachki, we've done some really fun stuff, and I kind of want to like keep doing it. So if you guys have any ideas or things you would like to see, please let me know in the comments. I also want to say, of course, thank you to my co-founder and my fiance. Don't ask me about my wedding date because I already know what time it is. Don't ask me about my wedding date. That's my man, that's my fiance, okay? I just have so many incredible good people around me. And let me tell you something, anytime something even looks remotely hard, that is if I can actually get to the stage of showing, because I have a really bad habit of like just putting on a face and just getting things done and not actually asking for help. It's a terrible habit, would not recommend, especially Black women. Start asking for help. Please start asking for help, especially if you have people around you that are willing to do it. Start asking for help. Anytime something gets an ounce hard, he will either do it himself or find somebody else to do it. That's the reason why I'm back on YouTube. First of all, shout out to Dennis. That's the reason why I'm back on YouTube, because you know, he started to realize like what my pain points were and what my struggles were, and he just like made something happen for me in a way that like it felt comfortable. Like also, like I just want to shout out like the other people on my team, Scale, my management, and Miles. I've been working with Miles as an editor for years. As you guys know, Miles J, he's also a creator. He's fab, he's hilarious, and I just want to say thank you, Miles, because like I literally just like stopped sending him content. And he very well could have relied on that. And I do realize like how me creating or not creating also it can impact other people around me. So I just want to say thank you, Miles. And I think you're incredible. And just for being patient with me and not, you know, but Miles has other things as well. Like I'm sure he's doing his own thing, but he was always really sweet and understanding and never like gave me a hard time about it. He really could have cussed me out. Like, where's the videos? Where's the videos at from my man? I don't really know if y'all are ready for the new content that we got going on, but I do have a little bit of something I do want to show y'all a little hint. I want to give y'all a little taste. Roll the clip. Without further ado, drum roll please. I'm Jackie Ina. We need to talk. All of that being said, I'm back. I hope you're ready, and if you're not ready, well, go ahead and subscribe. Because how you gonna see the new uploads if you're not subscribed? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Jackie Ina family. Hit us in the comments. Say something. Give us some content ideas, and I cannot wait to see you guys on the next video, which is coming very soon because we already filmed it. See? And Lavishly Jackie is not just gonna be on Instagram and TikTok. I have a Lavishly Jackie channel. It's our old like couples travel vlog channel, but Dennis is not really into social media like that, so I just took over the channel. So if you are not already subscribed to Lavishly Jackie, or if you were previously subscribed to our vlog channel, go ahead and also join us there because we have new content and new videos scheduled for that channel as well. I covered all the bases, y'all. Beauty and lifestyle, we taking over. I got a little schedule, so stay tuned. Bye. Jigga 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 jigga